Hey, what's good, iCan fam? We are back, and I just got this in my hand because we're about to do some harvesting, and I got an empty tent, and this is probably the best time to harvest because I'm literally going to use this tent to dry my flowers in. I'm probably going to hang a few plants in here, so let's just get straight on to shopping, guys. Let's go.
Ayo, Pixie, this shit magic.
Alright guys, so here we are back outside the Mars Hydro 2x4 tent, and honestly I'm looking forward to this harvest, but it's not one of my best harvests. I'm gonna be real with you guys. And that being said, this battery is about to die, so I'm gonna go flip it out real quick. Alright Joe, so crisis averted. We got a new battery in. But that being said, this is not one of my best harvests, and there were a few issues which we're working through. And you guys may have heard about that in our last episode. I'm talking pH lockout for my water. My tap water pH is like 9.5. Got a pH every single time. If I don't, lockout. And that's pretty much what we were dealing with this run. But that being said, the run is not that bad. It may not be as good as it could be, but it's not that bad. I've definitely had worse runs. But that being said, what I do like about it is that I was able to see the smells, the terp profiles of all these flowers. All of the terps are really coming through, so the tent smells great. But when it comes to the actual bud size on some of them look bigger than others. Now the Trichome Valley and the Fanta Blue, both of them look pretty decent. This just fell right down. Mars Hydro, guys, grow with Mars. Mars is trying to get in here. Now that being said, I'm also looking at this one right here, and that's the Skittles. That's the Skittles crossed with the Platinum. Now that one is decent, but I feel like that one has not been able to achieve its full potential simply because of the lockout issues as well as the nutrient imbalances. So I did take a cut of that Skittles cross. I got it right here. We're gonna put that into quarantine and literally take care of it better than ever before, so that we can give it a full shot at see what it could do pretty much. Now this one right here is also dealing with a couple of minor little pest issues, so we're also going to be spraying it down with Lost Coast plant therapy. Any other IPM routines that we have I may actually implement, like I usually use peppermint and stuff like that. We'll see what we do, but this is going straight into quarantine, and that's just a cut from this Skittles right over here. So what we're going to do, guys, is literally cut down everything in this tent right now, in this 2x4 tent, and hang it here in this 2x4 tent. And obviously when you're hanging and drying, you want to make sure that you take all the lights off in any tents, because you don't want to dry in a tent with the lights on. Now I have seen people ask that question, you know, beginners do ask, and I have seen beginners literally hang with the lights on and ask, can I hang when I'm actually growing, and can I dry at the same time? And the answer is a resounding no. So don't hang any plants to dry in a tent with the lights on, especially if plants are growing in there. Now that being said, guys, I'm saying that's being said quite a lot. I actually had a pet peeve of another YouTuber I was watching saying that so often. I was like, I'm going to take a shot every time he does that, or maybe Puff a J, and no, I'm here doing it. Anyway, that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and chop these down, literally just cut them at the base. But usually what I do is go through and do a light defoliation, and as you guys can see, this tent and this plant is literally been against the tent walls. This tent was just way too small for what's going on right here. But that being said, oh, I did it again. Anyway guys, what we're gonna do is go ahead and get this chopped. Guys, now real quick, when people ask about my harvest process, I do usually leave all the leaves on there, all the fan leaves, all the plant matter, typically leave it on there. I go down here and I literally just cut the plant at the base and I hang it to dry, and that slows down the dry process a whole lot, because you really want those flowers to dry really slow, especially if they're slightly bigger, thicker and chunkier like this orange cookie chem. You know, it's actually pretty thick and sticky right here, but it can get bud rot because of the size of the nug. So you want to make sure that you slow down the dry, but not too much. If you're in a really moist, humid climate, take some of those leaves off. Don't leave them all on. It's only because I'm in a really dry climate that I leave a lot of those leaves on there, so it slows the dry down. I actually do like to go through and do a little bit of a trim, because that helps after the dry. If you have tons of trimming to do after the dry, that can be really painful. You guys ever hear of trim jail? That shit sucks. But let's go ahead and do a slight defoliation, then cut them down and hang them all in this tent. Alright y'all, so I do feel like I'm just gonna go through and cut this trichome valley straight down. Let's start off with that. Remove any plant stakes. I've left plant stakes in there and it completely messes things up when you cut it down. Go ahead. Cut her down just like that. Pretty decent. Alright y'all, now usually I'll use one of those little S hooks, but I'm using one of these hangers right now, and as you guys can see, it hangs up with a hook, but it's also got a lot of these little clips, sort of like a clothes hanger from back in the day, and that's what I'm going to use to attach it to this light and basically hang all the plants on it. So let's go ahead and get that hung up. And just so that I don't forget what strain it is we're dealing with, I'm going to go ahead and remove the plant label like so, and I'm going to stick it onto one of these branches. That way I always know which strain is which, because they all look the same after they dry, right?
DA got that dope.
Ice water turn Atlantic, night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you.
Guys, check this out. The frost on this Fanta Blue is crazy. Let me bring you guys in and have a look at this. Guys, are you guys seeing the levels of frost on this thing? Like, there's just so much frost on it. Like, have a look over here. Just so much frost. I don't even know if the camera is doing justice picking this up right now. This is that Fanta Blue. Shout out to Basement Chuckers, man. Hooked me up with these genetics out in Berlin. Super frosty, guys, super frosty, really frosty. The amount of trichomes on this, like under the leaves and stuff, this could be a great washer, for real.
I've been on pool, yeah, addict for the lifestyle in the paddock. Daddy, have you ever felt Chanel fabric? I be dripping to death, I need a casket. And we got more strikes in the rough.
Got the Skittles crossed with that Platinum by In-House Genetics, and this looks pretty decent, guys. The colors are great, the frosting is great, the smell really smells like something I would love to keep around. So I do feel like I need to get that other cut into quarantine and really do the best that I can with it. But this, let's go ahead and hang this one up too. And that's the great thing with this little unit, guys. You can literally hang so many plants onto one hanger. It's great, you know, and it just makes life really easy. It utilizes your space really well. This one right here, guys, is one of my personal favorites. This is that Fanta Blue, and like I showed you guys just now, it's super frosty. It's got some really nice colors and size to it, you know, so I'm looking forward to this one as well. If you guys can actually see some of those colors, they look really good, you know. So for me, a lot of winners here, but I feel like the pH, water, the nutrient imbalances might have thrown things off just a little bit, and that's a real shame. But let's be honest about it, genetics that are fire will always shine through no matter what, and this Fanta Blue is really nice, man. It actually surprised me quite a lot. So shout out to Basement Chuckers. Like I said, oh, I almost got one of these stuck in the fucking, what do you call these things again? The pruners, the fiskers. I almost got this metal stake stuck in the fiskers, guys. That's why I say take out your stakes before you harvest your plants. Go ahead and cut this baby down, and as you guys can see, she looks pretty decent too, guys. She looks pretty good. So we go ahead and hang her up and let her join the party. And of course, we got to make sure that we actually add a little thing in there. But guys, have a look at this. So the stalk is really nice and thick, really filled. You know, sometimes you see those stalks that are hollow. This is really nice, thick and solid. She's just been doing work, guys, putting in work. So for me, even though it may not be one of my best runs, it's putting in work. It's putting in work. That's all I can say. Let's go ahead and hang this baby up. Now I do have an oscillating fan in this tent, guys, and that's great to help with air oscillation, especially when it comes to drying your flowers. Now you don't necessarily want it to be blowing straight on your flowers. Sometimes it is better if it's blowing around them, you know, blowing air within the vicinity. But if it's blowing directly on them, that can in itself cause issues. So you just want to be careful with where you place your fan while you're drying your flowers, okay guys? So I just readjusted mine. Now what we're going to do is go ahead ahead and cut down this last lady now. This is the one that was really finicky. This is that orange cookie cam by Bronetics, and for me, it's really nice in terms of the bud size. It's really fat, really solid, but it's so finicky that all these leaf deficiencies, discolorations, it could be down to the pH and the efficiency issues, but some of the other plants that were running didn't have this type of issue. These leaves literally had that issue pretty much for what felt like the whole plant's life for the most part. Now that being said, the nugs are really fat, really solid. It reminds me of some other strains which I ran in the past, like the Tahoe OG. It reminds me of a few different strains. So I'm gonna go ahead, cut this lady down, add her to the party and see what's going on. But for this one, I feel like it may be a good candidate for a bowl trimmer. You know, I got a bowl trimmer. I don't usually use them, but because the nugs are so solid and fat, maybe we could throw it in the bowl trimmer. See what you guys think. Drop in the comments. Do you guys use bowl trimmers or not? Let me know where you guys stand on that. Let's go ahead, cut her down. There you go. So here we go, guys. Here we got that orange cookie cam. Now this plant actually smells pretty decent. I can't even lie, you know, the truth about it is that even though it has a lot of these yellowing leaves and stuff like that, the nugs pull through. The nugs are solid. So in terms of strong genetics, this plant definitely hits a lot of those marks, you know. Like, look at the size of some of these colas up top, guys. They're actually pretty sizable, pretty decent, you know, no real need for complaints, you know, if we're being real about it, other than the fact that it did exhibit a lot of symptoms when it comes to these leaves. Now let's go ahead and hang this one up, and some of these plants may dry at different times simply because the nug size on a lot of them is different. But let's go ahead and hang her up. Okay, and we got enough space on the hanger for all 4 plants. So 4 plants, 1 plant hanger, 1 amazing 4x4 tent by Mars Hydro, 1 grow light by Mars Hydro, multi-purpose. I can dry in the grow tent, I can grow in the grow tent, I can grow with the grow lights, and I can dry with the grow lights. How awesome is that? And don't forget the oscillating fans. But that being said, guys, we're literally going to leave these here, let them hang, let them dry, do their thing. Natural hang and dry process for about, let's say, maybe 14 days or so, maybe 21 days, we'll see. I actually may take the Tahoe OG, that's not the Tahoe OG, the orange cookie chem that reminds me of the Tahoe OG that I grew a while back. I'll take the orange cookie chem and I may actually trim it down and put it into the other dry unit that I have and see how that runs. But for the most part, I'm going to leave all these other ones and let them dry in this Mars Hydro tent. So massive shout out, guys. Don't forget, use that code icanthc on the Mars Hydro gear. It's dual purpose, drying it, growing it, all types of stuff. Alright, y'all, now so real quick before we actually close off, I actually pulled out another one of these hangers because I didn't want all the plants to be bunched up on one hanger. I wanted a little bit of space between them to avoid any bud rot issues. Any space that we can have between these plants while they're hanging and drying is great. So opting for 2 instead of sticking them all in 1 is probably the better option. So I just wanted to pop back in and show you guys that real quick because it's all about preserving your harvest, preserving your flowers, especially after you get into that dry and cure period. Let me know what you guys think and what you guys do for your drying process. Drop your thoughts and concerns on everything in the comment section down below. But when it comes to pH, I really do need some help, guys, because my pH is so high, and pHing water every time you water your plants is so frustrating. I need a way around it. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Wait, are you guys subscribed yet? If you're not, what are you doing, bro? We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.